Hey, how's it going? I'm having to hide out in my bedroom because my family's having a party tonight and they're cleaning house, so this is the only quiet place I can find. But I've got pages 99 through 113 in Jesus the Temple by Perrin, so appreciate you listening in as I take a few minutes here to unpack my portion of the book. But took a lot of notes on some really good stuff that came out of this chapter, and so just going to recount some of the things that I'd like to highlight as part of my summary. During Jesus' here and now, during the time that he was on this earth, he was certainly fixated on the what would be, what was to come. He saw the temple in its current state with the corrupt officials and priests and workers there. He yearned for a new era that was about to be done, about to be accomplished, and about to dawn. It's important, I think, to note that Jesus saw himself as the extension of the temple into the future. This is made very clear, obviously, by Jesus' cleansing of the temple. History bears this out to be true. Jesus' story was intended not to be exhaustive, the author says, but it was important for the writers to retain an accurate memory for the church that was to come. So the account of Jesus' trial is one such memory, and we find that in Mark 14:55 through 61. Great story that we all know well. But Jesus was heard to have said that he would destroy the temple that was made by human hands, and that he would rebuild another that was, in fact, not made of human hands. Mark, however, does not contain this, but we'll read in a moment that John, in fact, did. Perhaps Mark neglected to include this, or maybe even Mark understood Jesus to have merely implied this and not outright said that he would destroy the temple but then also rebuild it. But I find that to be a pretty interesting point. Both parts of this testimony do appear consistently, however, together, either incriminating evidence or, it's obviously further fodder for those who sought to convict Jesus as a criminal. Very quickly, either way, Jesus' statements were sizable consequence to the Romans and to the Jews. Jesus claimed that he would destroy the temple, and that was outrageous to his hearers, both Jew and Romans. For the Jews, the second claim would have rendered them speechless for him to say that he was going to rebuild the temple. Jesus' messianic claims were encompassed by his temple rebuilding statement, and he referred to offspring in 2 Samuel chapter 7, shepherd in Isaiah 44 through 45, branch then in Zechariah 6. So all of these speak of rebuilding. So anyone that heard this in Jesus' day would have absolutely made no mistake that he was attesting to himself being the Messiah. So the importance of whether or not Jesus talked about destroying and rebuilding the temple is very important. Witnesses accusing Jesus of insurrection or blasphemy, depending on their perspective, were unable to corroborate their stories according to Mark 14:56. So there was most certainly elements of truth to Jesus' messianic claims to rebuild the temple. Jesus' talk concerning the temple no doubt added fire to and cemented the argument against Jesus in his final week on earth, which obviously we know that he did this on purpose. Author Perrin states that Jesus was implicitly offering himself as the herald of Isaiah 56, and no doubt witnesses would have inferred his actual rebuilding of the temple. John 2:18 through 19 corroborates the Mark account, where it says that Jesus answered the Jews' request for a sign, and he simply said, "Destroy this temple, and I will in 3 days raise it up." John's account provides the best explanation of why Jesus was both charged and taunted with the claim that he would both destroy and rebuild the temple. And then Perrin references Scott McKnight, our other author for one of our books, his discussion of the Son of Man in Daniel, and says that it makes an excellent sense of the method of Jesus' madness in the temple cleansing. And I find that super profound. If after 3 days leading up to Jesus' alleged building of the temple, this is one and the same in Daniel's referring to times, we should then take seriously the possibility that Jesus interpreted his act as dramatic in an announcement, a certain announcement of properly anointing this holy place. And I'm going to wrap this up really quickly as I know I'm out of time. Jesus was persuaded that the temple had been profaned. Jesus responded by identifying himself as the integral part of the transition leading up to the arrival of the new temple. That's huge. In declaring the current temple regime as redundant and unnecessary, Jesus made the political move of recognizing Israel and a new timetable around himself. He made it personal. He absolutely, with no uncertain terms, made sure that people understood that. Jesus proclaimed himself as a fulfillment, as I finish, of Isaiah 56, that the time was now for regathering Israel and the convergence of the Gentiles. Thanks for listening. I hope this has been helpful. Look forward to everybody else's contributions.